After retirement, will Nikola Jokic be remembered? That's the question of this video, and it stems from a sit-down conversation that Nikola Jokic had online with Michael Porter Jr. Shout out MPJ because it's a really, really well put together video, and it was really great just seeing Jokic sit down and speak because, it's something that we don't see. We never know what's going on in the mind of Jokic because, people look at Jokic. You can look at him from the outside and be like, this guy doesn't even love the game of basketball, and he cares more about horses, than he actually does playing the game, man. So forget this guy, man. He's out there. It's just so effortless for him. He plays the game in such a terrible way. He's always got an attitude. Look at Jokic. You can make all these assumptions about him from just watching him play, but it's always better when you get a player to sit down and you can hear what they're saying, you can hear what they're thinking about in certain situations. And one of the things that Jokic said that really fits with the character that he's given us is him saying that after he retires, he wishes that no one would really remember him. He says that it would benefit him and benefit his children if they didn't see him as just an NBA player, but they saw him as a father. And he doesn't want the popularity. He says he doesn't like it. He says there's some guys that do like it, but personally it's not his thing. I'll roll the clip.
We are just good at what we are doing, but media is something that is around us. And of course, we're getting paid because of the media, because of popularity, So, but being famous, I think some people like it, some people don't. When I finish my career, I really wish nobody knows me, and I really wish my kid or kids in the future, who knows, really remember me as a dad, not as a basketball player.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna say that's gonna be my goal in life, and to not have phone. I think that's another big goal.
So essentially, he said all the things I stated, and he's really basically just saying that after he retires, he doesn't want people to remember him. The question of this video is, will Jokic actually be remembered? Well, in my opinion, I think Jokic will go down as a top 5 center of all time. I think right now he's probably a top 10 for sure center of all time. He might be top 5, but he's, top 5 all time when it's all said and done, in my opinion. But he's definitely the best, the GOAT center at something. Like Steph Curry's the GOAT shooter of all time. Jokic has probably put together something in terms of centers because I don't think we've seen anybody like Jokic remotely. And yeah, so he's great. He's a 2-time MVP, a champion, finals MVP. He's that guy. I think he's going to do it again soon enough, and I think that he's going to have the accolades when it's all said and done. The issue is Jokic's game isn't really flashy. His game is really boring to most people, and I think it really fits in with his character because he's a guy that says that by the end of his career, his goal in life is to not have a phone. He wants to get rid of a phone, and I think that is a very, 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 very good thing. I think most humans should be like that. These electronics, these phones, where's my phone? These phones should be, there's something wrong with anything. Like, they're actually insane pieces of technology that, really mess up the world in a way. And so I think him having the mindset of wanting to be able to get rid of his phone and like go off the grid, I think that's a great thing. But, Jokic saying that fits in with the way he plays the game of basketball because, he's not a guy that's subject to TikTok. He's not a guy that's subject to scrolling endlessly and then, getting to a point where you just, you have a longing for little short nuggets of information, but you can't stay for more than a minute because then it's just too much. So, he's not a guy that, fits into this, fast-paced narrative because it starts with your phone and then you got NBA players that everybody wants to watch Ja Morant because Ja Morant gets the ball and then he's immediately, hitting a little shimmy shake up to the lane and dunking on somebody when nobody wants to see a guy like Jokic get the ball. Okay, I'm going to fill out Andre Drummond. Let me back him up a little bit. Okay, I can't back up Andre. Let me pass it back. Okay, I'm going to go down to the post. Hey, pass it to me here. And then he does a little pump fake. And then he sees that Drummond jumps. Okay, let me pass it back out. Okay, I know what his strong suit is, and I know what his weakness is. I know that if I pump fake, he'll junk, and then I know that if I try to back him down, he's too strong for that. So then he gets it back the third time, and he works it a little bit. The clock's running down. He's used almost 17 seconds, and then he does a little pump fake fade away little thing. He knew how to get him, but it took a long time, and the shot wasn't the prettiest. It was, some weird post hook. He throwing the fishing rod in the water type of shot, but at the end of the day, he did it. But the reason that people don't respect it as much is because it's not as quick. It's like if you were to be posting, 1 hour long videos on YouTube. I love watching longer videos on YouTube, but a lot of people are not gonna, like, I'm not watching all that. You go in the comment section on Instagram, you'll be seeing, bro, I'm not reading all that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're saying that because they've been trained to think in this and taking information in this like very minimal way. Like, you want a little 15-second TikTok video, and you gotta, so the TikTok video is gonna be titled "Why God Isn't Real." And you're going to convince me, a Christian, why my God is not real in 15 seconds. And then people eat it up. But if you go, post a 2-hour-long video on YouTube, telling people why God is real, bro, I'm not watching all that, bro. And so they'll rather listen to the 15-second video than a longer, debate. These are things that people haven't settled for years and years. I thought that was a nice sidetrack. I don't know how I got there. But at the end of the day, people don't want, like, stuff that's gonna take a while. They want to be, they want their impatience to be fed, and they don't want to watch a guy like Jokic who takes time and he always takes the best shot, and the shots aren't the prettiest. It's not just give me the ball, I'm gonna go do something crazy, and that doesn't get a lot of fans. And so I think at the end of the day, like, when we're talking about guys like Jokic, I guess it's the point of the video. It took me so long to say this. I don't think people are going to be looking at Nikola and being like, oh, he's one of the greatest of all time. Why do I say that? Because he doesn't, like, people don't watch him. At the end of the day, people don't even like him right now. Like, folks don't even, like, you're talking about the top 3 players in the NBA, folks will say, yeah, it's SGA, Joel Embiid, and Giannis. Where's Jokic? Folks don't even give him his props, his flowers today. Like, a lot of people wouldn't even regard him as a top 5 player in the NBA. And yet, we're thinking he's going to be regarded as a top 10 player of all time when it's all said and done? Probably not. They're probably not going to have him in those conversations. And the reason being is because, people are just not, in tune with his game. And if folks don't like you, no matter what you do, you're not going to be in folks' conversations. Like, real NBA analysts who, like, cover the game, like me, we might, when we're talking about the top 10 players of all time, we might put his name up there. When it's all said and done, if he has the accolades and he, his career pans out. Real people who have real basketball conversations might put his name up there. But, folks, around the corner, at the barbecue, on Thanksgiving when all your uncles around, nobody's going to be like, oh, yeah, Jokic is, the greatest of all time. Like, no, like, he's not gonna crack the top 20. Nobody's gonna bring up his name because nobody likes him. And it's okay, because his game is really like a gold mine for those who find it. Those who find it interesting, you get to watch this great player. But for those who do find his game appealing, I think that he is, one of the greatest players of all time. Definitely the most unique player I've ever watched. I've seen a lot of players play the game of basketball. When I saw Steph Curry for the first time, there was nobody else in the NBA who ever played like Steph. So, he's my favorite player of all time. But there's a lot of players. You look at a Kevin Durant, you can see a Brandon Ingram, you can see there's players that play like KD. There's players that play like LeBron. A lot of them. A lot of them aren't good, but there's a lot of players who play like, Joel Embiid. There's a lot of players who, play like Trae Young, who plays like Steph Curry. You got Tyrese Halliburton. He plays like a Steve Nash. You got these players who play like other players, but with a guy like Jokic, nobody plays like Jokic. Jokic is one of one, and so he's a gold mine. I think it just depends on who's calling it, but, in most conversations, Jokic probably won't get as much notoriety as others, and that's okay. Like, Embiid is going to be putting those conversations before Jokic is. Giannis is going to be putting those conversations before Jokic is. But those who watch Jokic and those who know his game are going to put him up there. And that's my little ramble. But yeah, it was really great, that interview. It was really great. Just hearing Jokic speak. He's really a normal guy, and I hope he can get out there and ride some horses like he wants to. Because he's just a dude that plays basketball. And yeah, that's it for me, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I certainly did. And yeah, that's it for me, man. Peace out.